Warning, the following short video reveals a dangerous, almost hypnotic text messaging sequence, which has been proven by over 72,327 women just like you, to force your ex-boyfriend or ex-husband to beg to have you back, even if he won't speak to you now, even if you cheated, and even if he's already dating or has even married another woman. The effect of this specific sequence of psychologically magical texts is permanent and irreversible, and when properly followed will cause your ex to become romantically and sexually obsessed with you, most likely for the rest of his life. For the sake of the man you love, if you are not absolutely certain he is the one, please leave this page right now and do not watch this video under any circumstances. Please turn off any distractions. Presentation begins in 3, 2, 1. Stop texting me. I hate you. Suddenly I felt nauseous. Tears welled up in my eyes. My hands were shaking so much I almost dropped my phone. But I didn't drop it. I felt this pain and regret and hopelessness well up in my chest. I've been texting Eric, my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, for weeks, begging for his forgiveness, begging him to talk to me, begging for another chance to fix things, begging for any kind of response at all, any indication that he still loved me, any indication that I mattered to him, begging for anything except the message he sent, the message saying he hated me. So I didn't drop my phone. I let out a sob of agony and threw it across the room. It bounced off the doorframe and crashed onto the hardwood floor. It landed face up. I still had my favorite picture from when things were so good as my wallpaper. Both of us were smiling and happy at his sister's wedding. But we didn't look happy now. The screen was shattered, and a spiderweb of glass scarred our faces and blocked out our smiles. And I watched as my broken phone flickered out and died right there on the floor. At the time, I thought my chances of Eric ever fighting to have me back died with it. But I couldn't have been more wrong. Hi, my name is Jennifer, and I'm not a relationship expert or an author or a psychiatrist or anything like that. I'm just a woman who had something amazing with my boyfriend Eric, who messed it up horribly, who almost lost the man I love forever, who got him back for good, even though I thought it was impossible. And if you just stick with me and watch this video all the way through, I'm going to show you how to get your ex back too, even if he says he hates you, even if you cheated, even if you pushed him away, even if you think you've tried everything to get him back like I did. And the crazy part is, you'll get him back just by following a few simple steps, and by sending a few seemingly innocent texts, created by a man I personally consider to be a certified relationship genius. Now, if you're thinking, I already texted him and it blew up in my face, I understand. I was there too. Now I wake up every day wrapped in Eric's strong arms, so grateful I didn't let my own anger and sadness keep me from learning what I'm going to teach you right here, right now. So take a deep breath and listen. Woman to woman, I promise you'll be happy that you did. After that horrible text from Eric, I'm sure you can imagine how awful it felt. I don't think I'd ever been really depressed before that moment. And somehow having my phone shattered and broken was a relief. It made it impossible for me to text him back, to lash out at him and say I hated him too, to tell him how furious I was that he gave up on us, to do anything I could to get the attention he refused to give me. That night I found myself at the computer with a half-empty bottle of wine on my desk and a devastating sadness at my heart. For 3 hours I just sat there staring at old pictures of us and reading old romantic emails he'd sent me and just cried and cried. I remembered when we met, how he was talking to a friend of mine when we locked eyes and he melted me with a smile. Our first kiss, the incredible chemistry, how he held me so close. Like he was afraid I'd get away and he'd do anything to make me his. I knew right then this was the man I had no choice but to take seriously. A man I knew I could fall in love with. I remembered the hikes we took, the trips we went on together, the incredible connected sex we had, where I felt like the most important, most beautiful woman in the world. I remembered how he held me and let me cry on his shoulder when my dog died. Staying up late, talking about the future, coming up with silly names for the kids we both wanted so much. And I remembered the not-so-good times, too, when I love you became automatic, something you say because it's something you say, when we started running out of things to talk about and just dove into our phones at dinner, when the spark went out of his eyes when he looked at me, when he stopped telling me how beautiful I was, how lucky he felt to be with me. And I remembered the night I ruined everything. A night with another bottle of wine, and a guy from work who'd flirted with me for years and finally said all the right things. I was so vulnerable and desperate to feel that passion again. And I made a drunken mistake that destroyed the relationship Eric and I had. And I remembered the screaming and the fights and the guilt and the shame, and how even though I tried to explain and begged him to stay, he still left. And I was alone, counting the years I'd wasted, realizing for the first time in a long time how much I still loved him. And I don't know how, but that's how I found this relationship genius. I was surfing the web, doing random Google searches for how to get your boyfriend back or something like that, and I must have clicked on some banner or email or a link on a blog or something, because I found this bald guy named Michael Fiore, who was supposedly some kind of relationship expert. He'd been on the Rachel Ray Show and had a podcast and a website, and he said he could teach me how to get my ex back with text messages. And at first I just laughed. I thought it must be some kind of scam or something, right? But then I watched this video he'd put up. Just a simple video, kind of like this one you're watching right now. And this guy taught me some astonishing things about relationships and breakups that changed everything, and led me down the path to Eric and I being together and happy in a way I never thought possible. The first thing Michael Fiore taught me was that trying to get the relationship Eric and I had back was not only impossible, it was stupid to even try. Sound weird? Let me explain. What you have to understand is the moment you and your boyfriend or husband broke up, the relationship you had was over forever. And as hard as it is to believe right now, that's actually a really good thing. Now, at first that seemed impossible. How could the horrifying pain Eric and I had been through be a good thing? But Michael Fiore explained, if you handle it right, your breakup is actually a huge opportunity to hit the reset button and get back the love and passion and respect you had when you first started dating. A way to move past all the pain and anger and boredom that infects even the best relationship, and create something new with your ex. So much better and so much stronger than the resentment and disappointment that had infected your love before things ended. After all, if you're honest, you know you broke up for a reason, or maybe a lot of little reasons that just added up. And if you just try to get him back instead of creating a new relationship with him, you're doomed to end up right where you are now, alone, miserable, and desperate to see him and feel him again, while he moves on trying to find a girl who can satisfy his deep, primal needs in a way you never could, because no one taught you how until right now. Crying at my desk that night, I felt nauseous, guilty, and inadequate. I remembered all the times I felt helpless in our relationship, no idea how to fix things or what to say, and the very thought of Eric with another girl, I almost crawled into bed with my bottle of wine, pulled the covers over my head, and gave up. But then this Michael Fiore guy told me the good news that gave me and Eric our future back, and will hopefully give you yours too. The good news is that even though you can't have your old relationship back, you can have a better one. You can have the relationship the two of you were supposed to have before everything got screwed up, where you love each other, lust after each other, talk openly and honestly, support each other, and just enjoy each other every day without even thinking of having another one of those fights. In other words, you can be happy together. Not just for a week or a month or a year, but forever. And you can create this new relationship just by sending a few specific texts from the phone you have in your pocket or purse right now. Of course, not just any texts will do the job. To open the door for you, these text messages have to accomplish 3 incredibly important things. First, you need to send texts to erase the bad memories he has from the end of your relationship. Texts that subtly remind him of the woman he fell in love with in the first place. So he not only forgives you for whatever mistakes you made, but finds himself almost magically focusing on what he likes and loves about you every day, even if he could only criticize you before. Second, you need to send texts that make him feel seen, understood, and respected by you in a way no other woman can possibly offer. You know him better than any other woman, after all. These texts let him know deep in his heart that it's safe to love you again. What's even better is that these texts help him accept you for who you truly are and inspire him to finally become the man you've always needed him to be. And third, you need to flat out seduce him. To reawaken his lust for you, you need to send him texts that make him feel like a handsome, attractive, wanted, and overwhelmingly sexy man, in the exact way he's been craving for so long, but you simply had no idea how to give him before. If you send the sequence of texts that do these 3 things, one simple obsession will grow in his mind and repeat itself over and over again, and drown out any anger or bitterness or disappointment he has now. I made a mistake. She was the one, and I'll do anything to get her back. The texting sequence, which accomplishes these 3 things, has been used by tens of thousands of women, just like me and you already, with astonishing results. Young women, older women, married women, single women. Women who are with a guy for 40 years. And women who are with him for 4 weeks and feel like things ended before they truly began. All wiping the slate clean and creating something wonderful and new just by typing out a few messages on your phone. How do I know it works? Because even though I cheated on Eric, which I will regret for the rest of my life, even though we'd been drifting apart for months and months, even though I did everything wrong after we broke up, even though I drove him away and gave up all my feminine power by begging him to take me back, even though he was already dating another girl, a friend who'd had her eye on him for years, Michael Fiore's Text Your Ex Back brought Eric back to me, emotionally bonded us closer than we'd ever been before, massively improved our sex life, better than when we first got together, and created the astonishing relationship I know we'll have for the rest of our lives. So much better than if we'd never broken up at all. The first thing I noticed when I made the choice to enroll in Michael Fiore's Text Your Ex Back were the people. Thousands of folks in the online community you become part of for free as part of TXB. Men and women who are suffering, sure. But also tons of Text Your Ex Back alumni who had used the program and wanted to share their success and advice with you. I can't even tell you how amazing it was to have people who understood what I was going through, who didn't just tell me to give up and move on, but encouraged me to fight for what I knew Eric and I could have. But the thing that really changed my life, stopped the pain, and made me a better, happier, more confident woman was the Text Your Ex Back system itself. An astonishing and specific sequence of messages that's going to have your ex forgetting everything that's ever gone wrong in your relationship and literally begging you to take him back, promising to do anything for you, fighting for you, and thinking giving it another shot is 100% his idea. I was petrified when it came time in the program to send Eric the first text, especially since he'd rejected me the last time. I shouldn't have been. Michael Fiore calls the first message you send your across the bow text. And it's so different from the desperate, needy messages I'd been sending before that I was embarrassed. The text is just 6 words long and seems totally innocent. In fact, your ex won't think you're trying to get him back at all when he receives it. But it interrupts the thoughts and feelings he has about you, replaces them with a twinge of yearning for you, and uses his own psychological need to be the good guy to force him to respond even if he said he'd never talk to you again. I'll admit, it took almost 4 hours before Eric responded to my across the bow text. Eric told me later it was because getting the text made him miss me in a way he never had before, and was the one thing that made him decide we could at least be friends, and we became so much more. Once you start the conversation, you'll become the master of text judo. This part is really incredible. Remember when Eric told me he hated me and how upset I was? I shouldn't have been. In TXB, I learned why your ex hating you is actually a fantastic sign. Because with text judo, you can refocus the intensity of his emotions so hate becomes love and anger becomes passion. Once I applied text judo, Eric actually sent me a message saying he was sorry for his part in our relationship falling apart. And I knew it was time to send Michael's time machine texts. Time machine texts use a slippery storytelling technique to make your ex reminisce about how wonderful he felt during the best moments of your old relationship, and have an emotional flashback to those same feelings of love and happiness and adoration and excitement about the future he wants with you, wherever he is, whenever you want. I sent one text about our 1-year anniversary on Orcas Island and was giddy when he filled in all the details of how in love we were and ended with a smiley face. Once you've mastered the art of the emotional flashback, it's time to take that spark of reawakened love and turn it into an inferno. How? Intimacy booster texts reestablish the intimate bond you share. Remind him of all the ways you've loved him and been there for him before. And actually cause him to feel anxiety and fear at the idea of going through the challenges of life without you. Just sending one IBT near his father's birthday had Eric opening up to me in a way he hadn't for years, even when we were still together. Next, you'll use the green-eyed monster text to create a flood of positive jealousy to have him ready to fight for you and feeling suddenly desperate for your affection. Green-eyed monster texts are the absolute opposite of the needy texts you've sent him so far, and I'll admit I felt powerful and happy sending them. Emotional honesty texts are next. This scared me a little at first. Every time I've exposed myself emotionally to Eric before, he's clammed up like so many guys do. In fact, Eric and I would start fights with me saying he never let me know how he really felt about me. But Michael's emotional honesty texts allow you to blow by the BS and tell your ex how you really truly feel in a way he can actually hear. And almost magically open the door for him to finally be honest and tell you how he feels, even if he's never been able to before. You'll learn what to text him to literally bring tears to his eyes and have his whole body shuddering with desire for you, with just 7 simple words. The next step in the sequence didn't just make Eric lust after me in a way no man ever had before, it obliterated his habit of looking at porn for good. Focused all his desire and sexual energy on me, where it belongs. And once we were back together, it led to us exploring almost every sexual fantasy I've ever had, plus things he wanted he could never tell me before. Why? Because the next step of the TXB sequence will convince you for the rest of your life that text messages are the magic key to any man's secret ravenous libido. No need to be creative or a writer. Michael flat out gives you texts hotter than anything you've ever read in 50 Shades of Grey, and shows you how to subtly customize each one specifically for him so he sees you as a seductive goddess who is the one true mistress of his desire. You'll use foreplay texts to turn him on even when he's at work, and even if he doesn't want you to. Erotic storytelling to have him squirming in his seat and viscerally reliving the hottest sex you ever had together. And attraction amplifier texts that have him fantasizing about your body and lusting after you in a way almost no man has felt before. Warning, don't be surprised if he drunk dials you or drunk texts you right after you send this text and if the sex is wilder, hotter, and better than anything you've had in years. And then, after you followed simple instructions and sent done-for-you texts, to have him emotionally and sexually obsessed with you, it's time to go from text to in-person. Michael teaches a downright strange method designed to get him to make the first move. It makes him choose to want to see you and even work for it a little bit. And even has him thinking getting together and seeing what happens was completely his idea, and that he was the one who wanted you back from the very beginning. Here's the even cooler part. If he's anything like Eric, you'll be blown away by how eager to see you he is when he shows up at the coffee shop, how much work he's put into looking great for you, and the hopeful sparkle in his eye. Michael even gives you instructions on what to say at this proto-date and how to have him asking to see you again before your coffee is even cold. I was grateful for the program just to see Eric again, wearing a button-down shirt and a sport coat to show me how serious he was, just to feel his arms around me as we hugged, just to sit and talk and laugh and flirt and share our inside jokes no one else in the world could understand. When we said goodbye, he whispered, "I miss you all the time." And the only reason I didn't mess things up is because Michael had already armed me with exactly what to do to make this new thing we were creating last. From then on, I was able to use texting as an intimate channel that makes him shiver every time his phone vibrates and keeps us both happy and appreciative and feeling so lucky for what we have. What billions of people want, but only a few scant thousands in the whole world will ever have. Not just love, but the knowledge of how special that love is because we lost it, and had to fight to get it back. Listen, I already told you how just doing what Michael told me to do brought Eric back into my life when I thought all hope was lost. But I don't want you to just listen to me. Here's what other women have experienced with Text Your Ex Back. Carla from Chicago says, thank you, thank you, thank you. My ex-boyfriend wouldn't even talk to me and told me it was over forever. Then I did exactly what you said, and just last week, he actually proposed. I am so happy, Michael. You are a miracle worker. Terry from Seattle says, Michael, I had to write you about this to give other people hope. I found your program 3 months ago. I couldn't believe when my ex started writing me back. At first, he seemed so angry and hurt, but after just a few days of texting, he just relaxed. It was so amazing when we saw each other again for the first time. We met up just as friends, but when we said goodbye, he hugged me and wouldn't let go. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know we have such a great chance now. Thank you so much. Okay, can you feel that? That incredible need to know this, to be able to do this, to have this power to be with him again just by sending a few messages on your phone? How much is it worth to have this at your fingertips? How much is it worth to have him look at you with desire and love and something close to worship again? To have him bragging to his friends about the woman he has in his life? To have him bending over backwards to make you happy because he finally knows what an amazing woman he has and truly appreciates you? How much is it worth to be free of this agonizing pain? To not even have to think about dating? To be truly happy with the man you are meant to be with and who loves you overwhelmingly? I don't want to bring you down here, but I see so many women who are miserable every day because they had a chance for something great and they let it go. Women who end up with the wrong man or with no man at all because they didn't have the guts to go after that one man who could make their life complete. Personally, I think about what my life would be like if I'd never found this program, if I'd never gotten Eric back. And it makes me feel anxious, like I almost got hit by a truck, because life without him by my side doesn't feel like a life worth living at all. So think about that for a second, keeping that solid in your mind. What do you think would be a fair one-time enrollment fee for Text Your Ex Back? And just so you know, you only pay for TXB once. There's no monthly membership or any BS like that. If you're being completely honest, I bet you'd say that $497 or more would be totally fair to have him back and to have the happiness you deserve. Heck, I'd bet you'd think that was cheap to never have to feel this loneliness and regret again. But you know what? I'm not a rich girl. Like you, I have to work for every dime I make. And when I was sitting right where you are now, I agonized over every dime before finally making the right decision to invest in TXB, which is why I've convinced Michael Fiore and the digital romance team to do me a personal favor and let you enroll in Text Your Ex Back, not for $497. I'm not even going to ask you to invest a brutally cheap $297. For you, the price of Text Your Ex Back is just a single one-time payment of $97. And if you take action right now, I'll give you another 50% off that already discounted price. Simply click the button below right now and you'll get the complete Text Your Ex Back program for the discounted price of just 47 measly bucks. Immediate action discount. But you have to act right now. I know what it's like to hem and haw and think about it, but Michael's marketing guy is telling me that he simply can't sell a system this life-changing and this powerful for just $47. He's demanding that we eliminate the discount entirely and charge you full price because we just give too much for $47. It's like giving away a Ferrari for the price of a motor scooter. If you're still seeing this page, it means he hasn't forced me to cancel the discount yet. If you pass this opportunity up right now, there's just nothing I can do for you. Actually, there's one thing I can do. I can take away every excuse you might have not to give this to yourself and your ex by backing everything I've set up with a truly astonishing guarantee. Here's how it works. Just enroll in the Text Your Ex Back program right now, use the material, see for yourself how easy it is to bring your ex back to you just by pushing a few buttons on your phone. If, after you've used the system and joined the free online community, you don't think the program is worth at least triple the discounted rate you're paying today, just contact customer service at support@digitalromanceinc.com anytime in the next 60 days. And you'll get every dime back within 48 hours. No questions asked. And all you have to do is click the button below. Okay, if you're not convinced yet, let me do one more thing to save you from your own doubt. I hate the idea that you might miss your one chance to create something new and fantastic with your ex. And I want you to feel all the way deep in your bones that you're getting an incredible deal that you can be proud of, where you feel like you ripped somebody off by paying so little. That's why I've got 4 very special bonus gifts for you, just for risking nothing and giving Text Your Ex Back a chance. Your first gift is the complete audio version of the training at no additional charge, so you can go through the material on your commute or at the gym. Your second gift is called Instant Forgiveness. In it, Michael Fiore and Stanford professor Frederick Luskin teach you a simple method you can use in just 5 minutes anywhere you are to instantly force your ex-boyfriend to truly forgive you for anything you do wrong in your relationship. Plus, you can use the same method to forgive yourself so you can finally let go of the guilt and regrets that have kept you from being the woman your ex hopes you can be. Your third gift is called the Infidelity Buster. In this special program, Michael and Dr. Jan Hall blow apart every myth you've heard about cheating. You'll learn the real reason men and women cheat in relationships. It's almost never actually about sex. Simple but totally counterintuitive steps to cheat-proof your relationship so neither of you is even so much as tempted again. How to regain trust after a partner has cheated, and even how to turn the betrayal of cheating into a raging spark that draws you and your ex together, even if you've been drifting apart for years. And finally, we come to your fourth gift. Text Your Ex Back is absolutely packed with texts which are irresistible to your ex. But once you see what Michael has created for you, you're just going to want more. Which is why you'll also get 100 ready-to-use texting formulas. 100 simple, proven texting formulas which you can quickly customize just by plugging in a few small details. These texts were designed to be like digital crack for men and will make sure you never have to think about what to text him ever again. So let's add this all up just so you can see for yourself what a great deal you're getting. With your special discount, you'll get the complete Text Your Ex Back program for just $47. We already agreed that Text Your Ex Back is worth at least $197 by itself, so getting 75% off is already a pretty great deal. But then you're getting the audio version of TXB, Instant Forgiveness with Dr. Frederick Luskin, the Infidelity Buster with Dr. Jan Hall, and 100 ready-to-use texting formulas. Over $397 of value for just $47. Plus, if you act immediately, Michael will personally upgrade you to the massively expanded and enhanced Text Your Ex Back 2.0 at no charge. TXB 2.0 incorporates feedback from tens of thousands of men and women to make TXB faster, bigger, and even easier to use. Even better, TXB 2.0 is designed to be effective even in incredibly specific and difficult situations, like divorce, long-distance relationships, relationships that ended a long time ago, and cases where one partner has moved on and even gotten married. Getting TXB 2.0 for the price of TXB 1.0 is like getting upgraded from coach to first class on a flight around the world for free. Does that sound like a freaking incredible deal? It should, because it is. Personally, if I was at the store and got $400 worth of stuff for less than $50, I'd feel like I ripped them off. So I hope you're able to understand why you should click the big button below this video right now. Then simply fill in your payment details using a credit card, debit card, or PayPal through the secure cart on the next page. Once you do that, you'll get your special private login credentials, which you must not share with anyone. So you can access Text Your Ex Back 2.0 on your phone, tablet, or computer, anywhere you want, anytime you need it. Click the button below right now, pay your severely discounted enrollment fee, use the methods, techniques, and texts Michael gives you, no creativity or work required on your part at all. Experience for yourself what it's like to have him fighting to have you back, begging for your forgiveness. Ignoring other women, forgetting everything you ever did wrong, and doing anything and everything he can to make you his again forever. Okay, it's time to take action. You're at a crossroads right now, just like I was so many months ago before I went on the journey that led Eric and I together again. And you really just have 3 very different options, which will lead you to 3 very different results. Option 1, do nothing. Keep going the way you are now. Keep feeling that horrible pressure on your chest. Keep feeling that regret deep in your heart that you let him go and you can't get him back. Give up on the man you were meant to be with. Give up on your dreams. I can tell you from talking to other women, if you delay doing this and miss your chance, you're going to hate yourself for it. And I think if you've watched this far in this video, it means what you've been doing so far just isn't working. It shows that you want a change and you're willing to take action to make it happen. Option 2, try to text him back on your own. I really hope you don't try this. I've talked to women who heard about the incredible success of Text Your Ex Back 2.0 and thought they could come up with texts that would get him back on their own. Isn't getting him back the most important thing in your life right now? To me, Trying to do this yourself is a lot like trying to perform surgery yourself or trying to defend yourself in court. First, once you see Text Your Ex Back 2.0, you'll understand. While these magical texts seem simple, they're really just the result of decades of experience and are based on Michael's devastating knowledge of human psychology, hypnosis, relationship theory, and even sales. Second, if you try to wing it and come up with your own texts, the guilt and regret will absolutely destroy you when your homegrown texts blow up in your face. Which brings us to option 3, the easy option. The only option which leads to you getting him back. Risk nothing at all today. Grab the Text Your Ex Back 2.0 system plus your free gifts and bonuses for just one payment of $47 right now. Use the system like so many thousands of other women have. Send the text and then get in line to join me as yet another TXB 2.0 success story. The choice seems pretty easy right now, doesn't it? Because it truly is. Remember, with the 60-day guarantee, you've got nothing to lose. And with this special discount, you're getting way more than half off. In TXB 2.0, Michael Fiore does almost everything for you. Michael gives you the tools you need to get back to being you again, the woman your ex fell in love with and will fall in love with again. Michael gives you the exact texts you need to get past your ex's anger and hurt and defenses and get him to come back to you forever. The only thing Michael can't do for you is make you take action right now. You have to click the button below and enroll. Only you can do that. Think about the future for a second. Think about yourself decades down the line on your deathbed. Which will you regret more? Taking no risk at all and finding out for yourself just how wonderful and effective TXB 2.0 is? Or walking away? I'd know I'd never forgive myself if I hadn't done everything possible to get Eric back. If you love your ex, if you know you belong together, if you want a truly happy relationship, you owe it to yourself and to him to click the button below right now. A few weeks ago, I asked Eric about the girl he was seeing after we broke up, the girl who pretended to be his friend until he was finally single. He said, at first, when I was so angry, what I liked about her was she wasn't you. But then after you sent those messages and we started texting back and forth, I realized what I hated about her was she wasn't you. And then he kissed me and whispered, I love you in my ear. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I can't wait to hear about your success with Text Your Ex Back 2.0.